If I could take everything that I've learned in personal development over the past 20 years of my life and summarize it into one thing that I felt was the most important thing for me to share with you about how to create the life you want, this would be that one thing. Hi, my name is Edward James Carey. Welcome to Praxis Living, where I create content to help you create the life that you want. In 1991, there was a movie called City Slickers, and that movie introduced a leathery redneck cowboy by the name of Curly. And in that movie, this character Curly, he said the following.
Do you know what the secret of life is?
No, what?
This.
Your finger?
One thing. Just one thing. You stick to that and everything else don't mean shit.
That's great, but what's the one thing?
That's what you gotta figure out.
When I first heard these words back in like 2002, 2003, when I'd seen the movie for the first time in my life, I was living in a one-bedroom, unfurnished apartment. I had no furniture. I literally was sleeping on the floor in my living room on an air mattress. And I had a computer desk and a computer, but other than that, I had no furniture. I had no car. I had no kind of work for career. I had no savings. I was over $60,000 in debt at that time in my life. I didn't really have a lot of friends, and I generally had a very miserable and cynical and pessimistic attitude about life in general. And for good reason at that time, so I thought. Then I saw that clip in that movie, and for an instant, I thought to myself, what if that were true? What if there really was one thing in life that if I figured it out, everything else in life didn't mean, well, you know what he said. So it was around the same time in my life, coincidentally, that I was having a chat online with someone who basically pointed out that I seemed like a very cynical and pessimistic person. Now, at that time, you need to understand, I thought that that was a compliment. So I said, thank you. And this person conveyed to me it wasn't a compliment. I did something that I was in the habit of doing at that time, which whenever I came across a word that I thought that I understood, that maybe I didn't quite understand, I would just quickly look it up on the dictionary. So I looked up the definitions of the words cynical and pessimistic. And you know what I found? Under the definition of pessimistic was the following: the belief or doctrine that this world is the worst of all possible worlds and that all things naturally tend to evil. Now, I don't know about you, but when I read that definition of that word, I felt a chill go up my spine. And I decided right in that moment that I was going to do whatever it took to start developing a more positive mindset, because I really don't want to see the world that way. I never did. And I had no idea what I was doing to myself mentally, psychologically, and emotionally. So let's get back to the one thing. These two instances in my life, watching that movie, seeing that clip, and making a committed decision in myself that I wanted to change and get out of my ways of being cynical and pessimistic about the world, that led me to begin a quest to discover whether there was truth behind the idea that there was one thing that was so important in life that if we understood it, it would make everything else irrelevant. I began to pursue personal development in my life. I had a lot of fun experiences. I met a lot of industry leaders in the personal development space. I never really felt that I found someone who could summarize everything into this one thing. It almost felt like the more time that went by and the more energy that I put into discovering this one thing, the more elusive it seemed to get, and that I couldn't find it. I remember a season of starting to feel a little bit discouraged, frustrated. Maybe it was just a movie. Maybe it was just a figment of someone's imagination. Maybe there was no truth to it whatsoever. After all, it was just a movie, right? One day, I feel very convincingly that I finally discovered the master that I was looking for to teach me this one thing. And you know where I found him? In the most peculiar place, the bathroom mirror. I suddenly realized I was the master that I was searching for, that I knew what the one thing was. So now I'm going to share it with you. The one thing that I feel that is most important in life when it comes to figuring out how to create the life you want to have is this. Life is BS. Life is BS. I kid you not. I can promise you, everybody in this world, including you watching this, including me sharing with you, are all filled with this same thing. BS. I hope you've already figured out that I'm not referring to the BS that we typically use to fertilize our crops, to grow our food. I'm talking about the BS that we use to fertilize our minds. The BS that I'm referring to right now is belief systems. Life is belief systems. And what I mean by this is it doesn't matter what we want in life. It doesn't matter whether we are aware 100% that our life is miserable, that we don't want it, we want some other new type of life. If we then begin to go out and try to do things to get changes to make that life happen, unless we address internal beliefs and belief systems, no amount of effort that we put into trying to get what we want is going to materialize. I know this for a fact in my life. When I began to realize that I get stronger results of creating the reality that I want in my life, not by trying to control or manipulate external things, but by asking myself, going through my own thoughts in my brain, my own beliefs, and asking myself questions. Anytime something came into my life that I thought, oh, I'm not for that, I'm against that, I don't believe in that, I would stop. I learned how to cultivate a personal habit of going, now that's interesting. Why do I have this opposition against this piece of information or against this experience? And I started to ask myself, why do I believe this? And slow and surely, my beliefs began to change. Not automatically. I learned how to create new beliefs that supported the things that I want in my life. That's the key. Having the idea or the concept of what we want in life, that's clear intention. But if we say that we want something, let's pretend for a second that we want to have $1 million in a investment portfolio account. And just ourselves thinking that, oh, I want to have $1 million in personal investments. But you feel something inside of you that doesn't allow you. Oh, you better check yourself there. I don't know if you're allowed to have money. You know, all of these things in our past that we were taught about money, all those beliefs, they need to be in alignment with being a self-made millionaire. If you don't believe that you're a self-made millionaire, you're not going to be a self-made millionaire. There was a time in my life when I was struggling with a plumbing career and I wanted to be a journeyman plumber. But until I made the internal shift and belief that, you know what, I am a journeyman plumber, I didn't take the IP or the schooling to get my red seal and become a journeyman plumber. I believed that I was first, and then I achieved it. Same thing with this YouTube channel. I wanted to have a YouTube channel for so many years, but I believed that I was getting ready to have a YouTube channel. I believed that I was in preparation, that I was getting all my technical gear and proficiency and knowledge of how to run lighting and editing and video processing. And I felt that I needed to do all that stuff to get ready, to make good content, to launch a YouTube channel. And you know what I found? When I actually made the decision to shift from wanting a YouTube channel to being a YouTube channel content provider, I started making videos. I turned on all my gear, and this is the result. I'm making videos for you right now to help you build your own life. I'm doing this to help build my life. I want to be transparent. I get benefit out of sharing through this medium. That's why I chose YouTube to be my conduit, my vessel. The money will come. I'm not concerned about that. What I'm concerned about is living in the space that I wanted to live in. I was wrapped up in my plumbing job for 15 years. I had a good industry. I had a good thing going in plumbing, a good career. I'm just enjoying a break in work right now, not due to any fault of my own. And I have all this time to either sit and wait to go back to work or to get involved and active with the things that I want to do in my life. And this is one of them. I want to make content that helps you make your life easier and more fulfilled. And I want to help you any way that I can to achieve the things that you want in your life. So the one thing that I have to share is this. Life is BS, belief systems. Belief systems literally govern everything that you begin to observe in your external reality. Now, normally, we walk around in life thinking that our beliefs come from external situations and circumstances. And so that presents an illusion. But what I want you to understand is the reason that we have external experiences that cause us to feel, oh, you see, I knew that was the way it was. I knew that that was true. I knew that was false. There's a psychological term for this. It's called confirmation bias. What that is it's part of our human psychology and our brain. It's called a reticular activating system, and it only pays attention to, it filters out everything in life. There's too much data for our brains to process. So this thing within us called the reticular activating system only focuses on the things that we believe, that we agree with, and the things that we don't believe and do not agree with. And it consistently focuses and seeks out experiences in our reality that confirm what we already believe. Now, I want you to know we're supposed to have this mechanism. This mechanism is a part of our being for a reason. It keeps us focused and shut off from all the noise in our life. But that great asset becomes a great liability if all it is doing is confirming the biases and the beliefs that we have that are bringing us more and more and more life experiences of things that we don't want. I want to clarify again, our beliefs do not come from the external world. Our beliefs create the external world. And the loop that we get caught up in is we think that the external world happens first and our beliefs therefore happen second as a response or as a reaction. That's not true. The reaction that you feel when something doesn't go as you want in your life, that's real. But what I'm trying to point out is that that experience that you just had was a result of beliefs that you had prior. And this is what governs the literal external world around us. We very rarely question beliefs. Because by the time we get to the point in our life where we can have the ability to reason and ask questions, our beliefs are already so ingrained and invisible that they just keep governing the way that we think, the way that we act, the way that we behave. And until we begin to look inside at ourselves and ask ourselves some very serious questions, such as, do I have the ability to change a belief? I would say so. Do I have the ability to consider a belief to see if it serves what I want? I would think so. Do I have a belief that supports this new goal that I want to have? Yes or no? We can adapt. We can change. We can decide to have new beliefs in order to support the things that we want in our life. And then the magic can begin to happen as our external reality aligns to who we are and starts bringing us the things that we want to be, do, or have. I am going to make another video soon on diving deeper into what beliefs are, where beliefs come from, and what we can do to change them. But I just wanted to introduce the concept in this video. I hope that the information I've shared with you today is powerful enough for you to start asking some good questions of yourself. I just want to stress that you can be, do, or have anything that you want as long as you're willing to create and adopt new beliefs to support those things. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Once again, my name is Edward James Carey. If you have value in this video, please do me the honor of liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and even hitting the notification bell so that you will get updates when I release new content. My mission here is pure and simple. It's to provide content that helps you get the life that you want to have. If you resonate with that message, then your generosity with those few actions that I've mentioned will be a great service to me to help get this word out to other people just like you. Thanks for watching. I look forward to speaking to you again in the near future.